இன்சூரன்ஸ் கம்பெனில வந்து இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு நல்ல ரோல் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க and அந்த opportunity எப்படி வந்தது?
The Ravanasura thing opening my door to LIK, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. It gave me the fame that every actor who wants to become known, working in a production house that has Nayantara ma'am's name linked to it, in itself is a very big win for me. Tamil industry, Siddharth and Vijay sir, I will drop everything, I'll do the project for free, and alongside Vijay sir, I think I'll pass out. I have got my eggs frozen, that is the reality of the fact, because according to me, I have been out of a failed relationship. In my head, if I don't find a man where I want the bare minimum, I'm not looking for money, I have the money. I get a lot of, oh, plastic, it's not real. People need to understand that I'm from a background. My dad's side, I'm Tamilian, and my mom's side, I'm from Karnataka, and I'm born and raised in Dubai. Genetically, Tamilian women are thick. I had to explain to my mother, you cannot read the comments. You see something about me, do not open the comments, because I know what is there. I know what they're saying. That is the only day, like the one time my mother called me and I was like, oh my God. Never in my head, even once I thought that I don't know how long this pandemic will last and I'm not going to become an actor. What if I can't perform this step? And they have just called him from his caravan and I'm like, hello sir. He was so nice. He came to me. He put his hand on my shoulder and he said, even if it takes 10 takes, I will do it with you. Relax, calm down. You know how
reassuring.
Yeah.
ஹாய் ஹலோ அண்ட் வெல்கம் டு சினிமா எக்ஸ்பிரஸ். என் பேர் நாராயணி. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கூட இருக்கிறது ஆக்டர் எடின் ரோஸ். ஹாய். எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
I'm good. How are you?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். I was just reading about you and then I found out this really crazy fact. நீங்க ஏரோநாட்டிக்கல் இன்ஜினியரிங் படிச்சுட்டு மேக்ஸ் படிச்சுட்டு ஆக்டிங்ல என்ன பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? எங்க இந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆரம்பிச்சது?
So basically I always wanted to be an actress. There was no different career goal that I wanted. But my parents are South Indians. My dad is from Madurai and my mom is from Karnataka. So they were very much focused on education. They were like, you should always have a plan B. What if you don't make it? What if it doesn't work out for you? Always have a plan B. And by chance, I was also very good at studies. So that's what I chose. I did that. I did not want to do that. But I did that as a plan B. But it worked out. So yeah.
Fate turned out in different ways.
Yeah.
So எந்த டைம்ல வந்து நான் ஆக்டிங் போகணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நீங்க நினைச்சீங்க? Was there any specific moment that was like, no, I really need to go? Because நீங்க aeronautical engineering படிச்சீங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் it's very easy to get carried away to go into placements and job opportunities and things like that, and there's a lot of unpredictability. Life எப்படி வேணா மாறலாம்ன்ற unpredictability இருக்கு. So எந்த டைம்ல வந்து நான் கண்டிப்பா போகணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நினைச்சீங்க?
So basically for me, when they told me, they gave me an option that either you do, you have to have a plan B. I wanted to do film school. Yeah, but in Dubai, the only film college we have is New York Film Academy, but it's in Abu Dhabi. So they did not want me to travel 5 hours a day drive. There was no hostel or anything. So I did the aeronautical part. But eventually, you're not happy when you're doing something that it's not something you like. I'm just doing this out of force, out of that I want to keep them happy also. They're letting me choose my career out, so let me just keep them happy also. But in my heart, I always knew that the day that I'm done with this course, I am leaving. I'm not wasting any second, not a day in my life. And that's exactly what I did. In 2020, I was like, okay, goodbye. I'm going to come back a star. I'm going to India. And my parents were very, very supportive of me.
You came to Mumbai in 2020.
2020, yeah.
Right? அப்போ இருந்த பெர்செப்ஷன் ஆஃப் பாலிவுட், காலிவுட்லாம் எப்படி இருக்கும், சவுத் இந்தியன் ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எப்படி இருக்கும், நார்த் இந்தியன் ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எப்படி இருக்கும்ன்ற மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது பெர்செப்ஷன் இருந்ததா?
So when I newly came to Bombay, like I told you, in 2 months the lockdown happened. Eventually when things got lighter in Bombay, I started meeting a lot of casting directors. I started meeting a lot of people who were linked to Bollywood, and I very fast realized that in Bollywood the opportunities to newcomers are not there as much. Like either it is you go through some really big reference, or you're actually so good at your audition, which also to reach there takes a whole while. But then the casting people I was meeting, like I've had the same manager for 4 to 5 years now since I came, Navneet. He was one of the first person to tell me that your face, your talent, your acting, your everything, you should try in South. And I did not understand this concept at that time because I was like, what is the difference? Like, how is this? He told me that South is more open to talent. South is more open to new talent. They look for new talent. It's really not about your looks. It's about you fit in the role, you act well, they will take you. No matter who you are, what your background is. So you really need to try in South. And listening to him, I rented a flat in Hyderabad and I went to Hyderabad and I told him, could you line up auditions for me? Could you line up meetings for me? And that is the core memory I have of me deciding that I want to work in Tollywood. I want to work in South. And then at that time, I had this mindset that when I make it very big in South, eventually I'll make it big in Bollywood. But
Right.
as of now, as an actor, I am very much focused in South. I'm not saying that I would say no to a project in Bollywood. Everybody wants to do that, right? But as of now, I'm not really going to castings or not really going to auditions in Bollywood because I'm so happy at where I am, me being accepted here, me getting good roles here, me doing good acting here, me being appreciated here, me getting auditioned the proper way, having proper look tests, and being here for my talent most of all is so welcoming to me. Like they were so open to seeing my talent, which is why I'm happy being here. Like I prefer working here any day. So yeah.
2020 லாக்டவுன்ல வந்தப்போ இட் வாஸ் அ வெரி அன்சர்டன் டைம், லாட் ஆஃப் அன்பிரடிக்டபிலிட்டி இருந்தது. அப்போ வந்து இல்ல இது எவ்வளோ நாள் போகும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல, ஐ டோன்ட் நோ ஹவு லாங் திஸ் வில் கோ டு, நம்ம ஆக்டிங்லேருந்து விலகிடலாமா அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு எப்பயாவது தோணுச்சா? Did you think that this is not going to work out because I don't know how long the pandemic was going to last, so I don't know what to do? Was there some sort of like doubts with you, and how did you come out of that?
There's this new saying recently, Dilulu is the Solulu. People are believing it now.
Yeah.
I have been believing it since 1998. There was not once a thought in my head. There was a time where I had like third world problems, like in the sense my maid cannot come home to clean the house because the pandemic is so strict in Bombay. And at that time, it's very sad to say, but because of me being from a privileged background, in my head I'm thinking, how do I clean this house? I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to put the gas on. I had issues like this in my head. Like, how do I fend and eat for myself if a delivery guy cannot come home and I don't know how to cook? What if I burn this house down and I don't know how to do things? But never in my head, even once I thought that I don't know how long this pandemic will last and I'm not going to become an actor. Like, that was never in my head. I have been delusional since birth that this is for me. I will get this, I will do this. And I'm a big believer, what you talk to yourself, what you ask your creator, like what I'm asking Allah, what I'm believing in myself is exactly what he will shower me with. Exactly what I deserve. So if I'm going to be demotivated, like maybe this is not for me, maybe the universe and maybe Allah will be like, no, she doesn't really want it bad enough. So there are phases now also as an actor where I'm depressed. There are days I wake up sad. I feel like it's going too slow. I'm 27 now. Am I going to make it bigger than this? But you best believe within the next 10 minutes, I push myself back up. That in 5 years, you reached where you are. Not everybody gets those opportunities. Be grateful.
Correct.
When you are grateful, the universe and the creator will give you more. And there is never a doubt in my head that I will not do it. Even today, like I'm telling you, I will make it big. I'm 110% sure of that.
Fingers crossed.
Inshallah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So now coming to your big breakout, உங்களோட ரவிதேஜா சாரோட you did Ravanasura and that like literally propelled you to fame. எல்லா இடத்துலயும் உங்களோட ஃபேஸ் இருந்தது, ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் பேசியிருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அந்த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி உங்களுக்கு எப்படி வந்தது, and how was it acting alongside such a big star?
I still, like when I think back to that day, I think this man is so nice. I'll tell you a small example. Like me working with an A-lister for the first time in my life was already nerve-wracking. I'm grateful, but I'm scared. I come on set and I'm like shaking. And then also I'm not a dancer. I dance well, but I'm not a dancer. I'm an actor. So I come on set and they're teaching me something. Like Shikhar Master and his team is teaching me some step, and in my head I was like, what if I can't perform this step? And they have just called him from his caravan and I'm like, hello sir. He was so nice. He came to me, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, even if it takes 10 takes, I will do it with you. Relax, calm down. You know how
Reassuring.
Yeah, I did it well, like just because he said that to me. And he's such an easy person to work with. And alhamdulillah, like if I think about it, all the A-listers I've worked with till today were like that. You have this perception as a fresher when you go like, oh my god, they're going to be intimidating.
Yeah.
Maybe they will be strict. Maybe
Demanding.
they will yell. Maybe they will be demanding. South actors, like all of them that I've worked with were super down to earth, super welcoming, and they make you feel comfortable in a space where you yourself will do a good job.
Nice.
Like there's no way for you to feel, like, oh my god, under the pressure. So I think, yeah, his project was my big break. And after that song, I did Big Boss, and now I'm doing a movie with him again. I'm doing a movie,
Superb.
I'm doing
Nice.
a Telugu movie with him again. I'm doing a character role in his movie. So yeah, he really, like, is the start to my career.
Nice.
And I was really privileged to work alongside him. I still really look up to him. Like Ravi Teja sir, I thank my stars for that opportunity.
And that also got you up to LIK, right? Love
Exactly.
Insurance Companyல வந்து இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு நல்ல ரோல் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. And அந்த opportunity எப்படி வந்தது? Because LIKல வந்து ரொம்ப நீஷான கான்செப்ட். ஒரு probably ஒரு few years down the line ஒரு 2020 தாண்டி ஒரு 2030 2040ல ஒரு நடக்கிற ஒரு டைம் ரோபோட்ஸ்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு போயிருக்கு. நிறைய சேஞ்சஸ் வந்திருக்கு உலகத்துல. Too many technological advancements. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல வந்து ஒரு கொண்டு வரதுன்றது something so different. And acting in it is like something so different from your usual projects. So அதுல என்ன ரோல் நீங்க பண்ணிருக்கீங்க and அது எப்படி இருந்தது நீங்க பண்றதுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட்ல எடுத்து ஸ்டார்டிங்லயே வெரி நீஷான ஒரு கான்செப்ட் எடுத்து பண்றது?
Well, I can't talk much about the role, but I'll tell you, like, when I first got approached for this film and they flew me down to Chennai for the look test and everything, I was so excited because the role I'm playing, which I can't say much about, is something, like you said, very different from my other, the other things I've played a part in. And because of the depth of the role, like, there are surprise elements to it, which is why I'm not talking about it, which as an actor, I'm so grateful to play that. And then again, when I say this, like working alongside these names, like the Ravanasura thing opening my door to LIK, see, working in a production house that has Nayanthara ma'am's name linked to it in itself is a very big win for me. Because let's be honest, she's the only female superstar we have in this country. She's a brand in herself and she's a very strong woman-centric person, and working in her production already like ups my game a lot. Like, oh my god, like alhamdulillah to the universe that I get to work in her production. And then the role and how the director sir, Vicky sir, is so creative with his role and what he expected of me for that role and what I played on that role. All of that, if I think about it, is very surreal. And then also me being partnered up with SJ Surya sir.
Oh.
SJ Surya sir, like, as much as I say that this man is a fabulous actor, how much ever I say that is not enough. Me sitting, like, if it's cut for me and I'm sitting on the set, I'm sitting there and watching his take, it's like I'm watching magic in front of my eyes. This man is so good at he was born to be an actor. Dialogue delivery, expressions, where he's breathing at what stance, everything. Like, for me as an actor, if I want to be a very good actor, this is who I want to learn from. He's such a fabulous, Pradeep Ranganathan, they're so good at their craft. And me being in this Tamil set, this is the first time I've been in a Chennai set.
Pure full Tamil.
Yeah. It's a whole learning experience. I'm learning from the DOP, Ravi Varman sir, the best DOP this country has.
Correct.
And me, fun fact about me, initially when I wanted to go to film school, I wanted to study DOP work. Because I like DOP work, yeah. As an actor, I know how to be this side, but I always wanted to be there and I always wanted to be a DOP. So I would sit on set with him and learn what is dolly zoom, what is this, what is that angle, what is baby light.
This change, this thing I did not expect from you at all. Like,
yeah,
going
people
behind
don't know
the camera.
I love DOP work. I'm always sitting with a DOP on set because I want to learn. I don't want to be a director. I want to learn DOP work. Camera and DOP work really fascinates me. And when I said I wanted to go to film school, it was actually to study DOP work. So I would sit with Ravi Varman sir and his craft, and the shots are mind-blowing. Like, his vision combined with director Vicky sir's vision together is like creating magic on the screen. And then you have fabulous actors like SJ Surya sir, who this man, he blows my mind with the takes. Like me as a live audience sitting there and watching him, I'm like, how can you do that? How are you giving this take like this? Then Pradeep Ranganathan, needless to say, fabulous actor. Any project he puts his hand in, he's a very good actor. So all of this, and then Nayan ma'am once came on set and I'm like mind blown with her beauty. What is this? She's barefaced, no makeup. She walked. See, you know when they say aura, I don't need to see someone entered. My back is there, but like every goosebump in my body stands, and is something in my body is telling me someone just entered this place. I turn behind and I see her. That is aura. She's without makeup. She's glowing to the gods. I don't think I've seen beauty like this. Like she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She radiates energy. I'm telling you, my back is there. How would I know she entered? I felt goosebumps, like some aura. I turned behind, and the only other time I felt that aura is when I seen SRK for the first time.
Oh.
Like I was in Dubai for an event, for his
Right.
Diabol event, and he came on stage and I felt goosebumps in my whole body, like every hair on my body stood. Same thing I felt when she entered the set. I turned behind and I was like, hello ma'am, it's such a privilege to meet you. And I saw her gorgeous babies, and yeah, that whole experience of working on that set, every day, everything, I learned something there. There's not a minute that passed on that set where I didn't learn something from them. Everyone had something to offer.
How's the film progressing right now? எப்படி போய்கிட்டு இருக்கு? முடிஞ்சிருச்சா full and full? இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பாக்கி இருக்கா? என்ன கொடுக்க முடியும் உங்களால? என்ன அப்டேட் கொடுக்க முடியும்?
It's fully done. It's fully done. I think it's releasing on October 18th.
Yeah.
I have little bit patchwork left.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be like one day of this week. But other than that, it's fully done.
Right. And did you anticipate இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு scale of the projectல இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு lensல பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க ஒரு output ஏதாவது ரெண்டு மூணு outputs ஏதாவது பாத்தீங்களா?
Well, according to me, it's going to be a very super duper hit blockbuster. As an artist, that is what I will hope for. But also as somebody I go back to see the scene when I'm done.
Right.
Every time I watch back the scene, I felt like, damn, this is the output, and that's raw footage I'm watching on the monitor. So yeah, according to me, like Chennai audiences will read, not just Chennai, it's a pan-Indian film. All audiences are going to love this movie, inshallah.
Nice. Was there any specific advice or like something that stuck with you? ஏன்னா இவங்க ரவி தேஜா சாரோட நீங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, பிரதீப் ரங்கநாதன், விக்னேஷ் சிவன், you and Kriti Shetty also. So all these people are there and they've done so many films and you're just beginning in the industry. So இவங்க கிட்ட ஏதாவது ஒரு அட்வைஸ் நீங்க வந்து வாங்கிக்கிட்டு என் கூட இன்னும் இருந்திருக்கு, it's still there with me, that particular advice has stayed with me, it's really changed my perspective on acting, இந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருந்ததா?
When in that sense, I have not, I used to always joke around with SJ sir that I think you should start acting classes. Like I would be your first student. Like this acting, sir, wow. But that being said, it's actually my manager, my casting guy, who was first my casting guy and now he's my manager. He had said something to me once that stuck in me, that any role that you play, like I stand by this, I believe. Let's say I'm playing X, Y, and Z role. 5 days before the project, I try to incorporate that in me. In the sense, 5 days I cut off from everybody. I'm not talking to my family. I'm not talking to my friends. I'm not going out. Let's say I'm playing the role of Monica. I have to become Monica. I'm not Eden. What things will offend Eden will not offend Monica. Or what matters to Monica will not matter to Eden. Incorporating that character in silence 5 days before your project is something that stuck with me and really helped me. Because for me, as a person, it's very easy to play certain roles, and then there are certain roles that I struggle with, but also I'm an actor, I have to be versatile. The roles that I struggle with, this 5-day thing really helps me in that. And that is one advice, like I know it's one advice that I learned from him that till today, and I think forever, as long as I'm in this industry, I will follow.
Nice. You spoke about how you're coming from a Tamil background, right? உங்க அப்பா வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டுல வந்து மதுரையில இருந்திருக்காரு நீங்க சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்க. ஸோ நீங்க பிறந்து வளர்ந்ததுல இருந்து என்னெல்லாம் தமிழ் படம் பார்த்து ரசிச்சிருக்கீங்க? What all films did you enjoy watching growing up? What are the actors that you grew up watching that you really admire?
So my dad passed away in Feb. My dad was from Madurai, and we would watch Tamil movies every day. Like every day I would come from school and I would watch a lot of Vadivel movies with my dad. Huge fan. I don't think there was a day that passed in my life, like if I would not see Vadivel in the movie, I would be offended. Like, where is he? Like, why are you watching this? And other than him, like one actor I really looked up to, Vijay sir. Every day I would come from school and I'll sit with my dad and there will be a Vijay sir movie going on TV and I would be hooked. Such a good actor, and the movies, like, I cannot explain, like, this is a very integral part of my childhood. Like, this one part cannot be taken away from me. The reason I can understand Tamil today is not just because I'm half Tamilian, but it's also because I grew up watching these fabulous actors. I used to love Vijay sir. I used to like Surya movies. I used to think that why is this man not aging? Like, even today when I watch Surya sir movies, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you not aging? Why do you look this good at this age? You look exactly like what I saw you when I was a child in school, watching you on TV. From female actors, Tamil actors, I'm very bad with names. The Jyotika, the Chandramukhi actress, I used to love her. Any film I would see Jyotika and I'm like, yes, I want to watch this film. I used to love her, love Vijay sir. Even today, like before I came here, Vijay sir's song was going on. And I was like vibing to it before I came here to like put my spirits up. So yeah, that's an integral part of my life. And I grew up watching these artists and these movies. So yeah.
ஸோ நீங்கள் இவங்களை பார்த்து வளர்ந்துருக்கீங்க அண்ட் அவங்களுக்கு லைக் யூ மஸ்ட் ஹவ் சீன் தெம் அண்ட் யூ மஸ்ட் ஹவ் தாட் அபவுட் த ஆக்டிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி இன் சம் சார்ட் ஆஃப் வே. உங்களோட மனசுக்குள்ள ஆக்டிங் இப்படி தான் இருக்கும், ஆக்டிங் ஸ்கூல் இப்படி இருக்கும், ஒரு நடிக்கிறது இப்படி தான் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. நவ் யூர் இன் த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஃபார் லைக் அ கப்புள் ஆஃப் இயர்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த பெர்செப்ஷன் சேஞ்ச் ஆயிருக்கா, எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த இமேஜ் பிரேக் ஆயிருக்கா? ஓ, ஐ தாட் இட் பி லைக் திஸ், பட் இப்படி இருக்கா, லைக் சம்திங் தட் டம்ஃபவுண்டட் யூ or something that shocked you. How has that changed the perspective?
Honestly speaking, the only perspective that changed my mindset and the only place I was dumbfounded was seeing how down to earth these A-listers were. I'm currently working on a project with a very big A-lister who I again grew up watching with my dad. I made sure to not mention the name because I don't want people to put two and two together. I grew up watching this man. Even talking about it is giving me goosebumps. He's so looked up to. And when I worked with him, this man was so down to earth. Like, first of all, I couldn't breathe that he's talking to me. Like, he asked me a simple question like, oh, you do this. And I'm like
a robot.
You talking to me? Me? Is there someone behind? I think he's not couldn't be talking to me. So the only perception that changed for me and dumbfounded me, honestly, is this positive perception. When I started working down south, they have no ego. They are so down to earth. The biggest of biggest actors, they are so sweet to you. They will talk to you like you have known them your whole life. They're so respectful. The tone, and also one major thing with directors in South and actors in South, they don't scream on set. With other sets that I've worked on in other industries, they're screaming at people on set like, do this, do that. Here they're very down to earth, very soft spoken, and they're so creative in their head, and they bring magic to the screen in the way, like if they're telling you 6 a.m. the shoot will start, 6 a.m. the shoot will start. In other industries, if it's 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. nothing will start. They're very professional, very timely, very easy to work with, very down to earth, very sweet to you, and they work for work. They work to create magic. This is the only perception that has changed for me. I never expected them to be this all heart or all welcoming or all this is the only perception that has changed for me. Because as a child or as a fresher coming into the industry, in my head I'm thinking, he's such a big A-lister, people think he's God. How much he must be, like, you know, how will he talk, how will his nature be? Exactly the opposite. So sweet, so nice. Like, I'm still in denial, like, is this real? So yeah,
I think coming from a big industry like Bollywood, like especially நீங்க பிக் பாஸ் வேற நீங்க பண்ணிருக்கீங்க அப்படின்றதுனால அங்கே நீங்க வரும்போது கண்டிப்பா அவ்வளோ சேஞ்சஸ் இருந்திருக்கும், நீங்க நிறைய பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. பட் லெட் மீ கம் பேக் டு பிக் பாஸ் அகேன். பிக் பாஸ்ல of course you entered as a wild card contestant and there was a lot of good reception to your performance, reception to whatever that you did on the show. அது எப்படி உங்களோட டோர்ஸ் ஓபன் பண்ணுச்சு?
Well, with being on such a big platform, like, alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. It gave me the fame that every actor who wants to become known, it gave me that. Like, in the sense, I can roam in Chennai without a mask, but in Bombay, I'm wearing a mask because people will recognize me. People will take photos, and that is, as an actor, that's everything you've wanted for, right?
Yeah.
I just saw this in Aryan Khan's series recently. one artist was telling, this is everything an actor works for.
Correct.
This. So I'm very grateful of that. If I talk about opening doors, it has opened a lot of doors because I plunged to fame. In the sense, I went from something like this to suddenly I'm so plummeted to fame that it's opened doors in the sense it's easier for me to get to castings. It's easier for me, like lovely media houses like you approaching, or my team approaching you. Like it's made it very easy for me to be accessible to people, to be in the spotlight, to be known, to be visible. What I'm wearing, what I'm eating, what I'm doing, people want to see that. So as an artist, like, I'm very grateful that it's opened these doors for me, where of course every artist gets hate, but also the love is a lot. People want to know what I'm doing. People want to see what I'm working on. It's easier for me to go into an office and submit my, my credentials that I've done this and this, as to being a fresher. So this is what it has done for me, and it's opened a lot of doors for me that I'm very grateful for. It's in your hand as an artist how you change your perception, how you make people think about you. See, when you're in a reality show, you could be perceived in any way because you don't know what is being telecasted about you outside.
Yeah, you must have also interacted with a lot of actors and other media personnel, other celebrities inside the house, right? Did that some sort of alter your thinking on how to approach roles, on how to move your career into the tunnel?
No, actually, all of them were super nice. Like, I am still very good friends with my people from Bigg Boss. There are one is my brother Rajat. Shrutika is a very good friend of mine, and Kashish is a very good friend. Sara is a very, Chahat is a very, like, all of these are doing well in their respective fields. Shrutika is an actor and a businesswoman, and she's doing very well in both. Like, she did Master Chef, and now she has the Happy Herbs thing, which is going very well for her. And hearing her backstory, how she started it, how she got married, this, that, like, really enlightened me. For me as a person, regardless Bigg Boss or not Bigg Boss, when I have a conversation with someone, I'm trying to learn from you. What you tell me about your life and your experiences is shaping my way towards life. So hearing all her positive experiences, how she started small and today she's a she's making crores of money with the Happy Herbs and she's doing well. Her products are really nice. Hearing all of that, and then Kashish, like, she's coming from a small background, making it big. Chahat coming from somewhere, making it big. All of these people, I've learned only good from them. Being in the house, most times, along with our friendship, our fights are, projected out. But honestly speaking, if I think about it, even the people that I had fights with in Bigg Boss, I've learned from them. I've learned. There are times at night we are sitting, we're talking, we're discussing things about their life. I'm telling them about mine, they're telling me about theirs. So all of their experiences, like me, naturally, even out of this place, I want to know. I will ask questions. I'm an interactive person. I'll ask you, how was your childhood? What made you? Yeah, that's the kind of person I'm like. I want to know the depth of you. So all of these things really shape me, not in the frame of roles. I don't think I ever spoke to any of them like how to get castings and roles, but I spoke to them on how their lives were, and that really helped me understand the kind of person they are. And that is why those friendships are still with me today.
Another thing that I found really interesting was, நிறைய பேர் அதை பற்றி பேச மாட்டாங்க. பிக் பாஸ்ல இருக்கும்போது you spoke very openly about templeplasty or egg freezing. இதை பற்றி நிறைய பேர் actually ஓப்பனாக பேச மாட்டாங்க. There's a lot of stigma associated with it. Not a lot of people speak about. There's a lot of misconception about a lot of things. What made you speak? எதனால பற்றி பேசுனீங்க?
For me as a person, see, I get a lot of, oh, plastic, it's not real, it's not real. People need to understand that I'm from a background. My dad's side, I'm Tamilian, and my mom's side, I'm from Karnataka, and I'm born and raised in Dubai. Genetically, Tamilian women are thick. They have thick thighs, they have a good body. Just because it doesn't match up with your beauty standard doesn't mean somebody is plastic. Now I'm over it, because if I open Janhvi Kapoor's comments or Khushi Kapoor's comments or anybody's comments, I will see the same thing, plastic. So what is the difference? You're hating on me the same way you're hating on her. And with me, I'm a very bold and open person in the sense, what is right is right. What I want to talk about, why, if I did not tell them I got my dimples done, they would not know that I got my dimples done. But why would I want to lie? I got it done. I think I look pretty in it. I wanted to get it done. I got it done. I had the money. I got it done. With the egg freezing thing, my perception, like, I got a lot of love. Like, I got very minimal hate on the egg freezing thing, where she's not our culture, our sabhyata. But I got a lot of love, like, from big media channels and all. Because, see, I have got my eggs frozen. That is the reality of the fact. Because, according to me, I have been out of a failed relationship. In my head, if I don't find a man where I want the bare minimum, I'm not looking for money. I have the money. I'm looking for very bare minimum basic things. If I cannot find a man who can give me those things, why will I forcefully get married because I want kids? We have this option in 2025 where I want to be a mother. I have motherly instincts. I've always wanted to be a mom. Like, this is something from when I was very small. I told my mother, I want to be a mother. I want kids. That's a very, very emotional thing for me. If I want to have kids, why does it mean I have to get married to someone? I got my eggs frozen. I'm young now. My eggs will be good. I got them frozen. If I find a good man where I think this man fits exactly what I'm looking for, I will get married. My parents want that for me. My mom still says, you will find a man. If I find someone like that, I will get married. I will have kids. But what if I don't? Why should I forcefully be in an unhappy relationship where he's going to cheat on me left, right, and center? You know, we had this mindset years ago where a woman gets married, only your dead body should come back from there. Whatever happens, you have to stay in that house. But this is our ancestors' thinking. We are in modern India now. We don't have to die in that house. If you're not treated well, if you're being abused physically, emotionally, mentally, marital rape, all of these things, you have the choice to walk out.
Correct.
Why do I want to put myself, let's say my parents will find me a very rich man to marry who can match my standard. I'll get married to him. He's cheating on me left, right, and center. Or he doesn't treat me well. His family doesn't treat me well. Why do I have to be in that just because I want kids? So I have the option.
Correct.
I can freeze my eggs. I can have kids. I want to have a huge family. I want to have kids. I can do that. It's as simple as that. And I spoke about it, and it was a very controversial thing. But this is my mindset, and I already froze my eggs. So, yeah.
A lot of people can't take that trolling. நிறைய பேர் வந்து அந்த hate and the trolling வந்து, especially when you go to Big Boss, it's very easy to troll people, and the trolling happens incessantly throughout the show, also after the show.
Yeah.
Up until the promotions get done or whatever happens.
Yeah.
So did that affect you? நீங்க அதுல இருந்து எப்படி வெளில வந்தீங்க?
When I newly came out of Big Boss and I was getting like tons of love but tons of hate, I was shocked in the beginning, and I would respond back to a lot because this is new to me. But then I over time understood that this comes hand in hand. When you are a public figure, not just an actor, if you are a public figure, you can be a politician, you can be a chef, you can be anything. You are a public figure, you are destined to get hate. No matter what, you can be the best person on earth, you will get hate. So I started overlooking it, like, let them talk. Like, this is giving me a lot of how to say, traction on Instagram. The more I'm spoken about, the more they comment, the more traction I'm getting on Instagram. The only thing that bothered me is my mom calling me and saying, I'm getting so irritated, they're saying this about you. That's where I got a little taken aback. I had to explain to my mother, you cannot read the comments. You see something about me, do not open the comments, because I know what is there. I know what they're saying. That is the only day, like the one time my mother called me and I was like, oh my God, my parents are reading this. It will hurt them. They don't belong from the same generation I am, where we think like, whatever, like, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm thick-skinned. I don't care. There'll be maybe one day in 2 months where it'll hurt me and I'll feel bad and I'll cry, but that's one day in 2 months.
Okay.
My mom will check the comments every day, and that was kind of for me like, what to do, like, what do I do? So yeah, that's the only thing. Like, I take trolling pretty well. Like, I really don't get phased. I have very thick skin.
Nice.
One day I'll cry, but the other days I'm just tough.
That's okay. That's definitely fine. Coming to your upcoming projects, what are you doing? இப்போ என்னலாம் projects உங்களுக்கு line upல இருக்கு?
I am doing a movie with Ravi Teja sir. I'm doing a character role, and I'm also doing a very big pan-Indian film in Tamil industry that I'm not allowed to speak. It's against my contract. So yeah, right now, currently I'm shooting for 2 films. One Telugu pan-India and one Tamil pan-India.
Nice. Looking forward to that. What is an actor that you would love to work with? You just drop everything and you'll just be like, even if it's like a 1-second role, I'll just go.
Siddharth. Tamil industry, Siddharth and Vijay sir. I will drop everything. I'll do the project for free. It's fine. I want to work with them. I love Siddharth as much. There's not enough I can tell you how much I love that actor. Fine acting, good actor, good human being, everything. Like, I really want to work with him. And alongside Vijay sir, I think I'll pass out. Big dream. And then if you ask me about other industries in Telugu, I will definitely love to work alongside Ram Charan sir.
Nice.
Big fan, big fan. And one actor I've loved for years and years and years, my undying love for that actor, Dulquer Salman. Dulquer sir is doing a project with one of the directors I know, and I'm so funny. I texted the director. I'm like, "Can you please cast me as an AD? I will do it free. 1 year you want me?" He's like, "Eden,
You
you
can also
have..."
be a DOP on it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, because as an AD you learn everything, right? You
Yeah.
learn DOP work, you learn everything.
Correct.
He's like, "Eden, you're doing 2 pan-India films. In between, if your directors call you, you'll have to leave my project and go there." I was like, "It's fine. Just please take me as an AD. I want to be in the same air as Dulquer sir. So please, can I please be an AD?" So yeah, these are the actors like Dulquer sir, Ram Charan sir, Vijay sir, and Siddharth sir. I really like. My dreams would amplify if someday I'm sharing a screen with them, even like for 2 seconds. It's fine.
Nice. What is a misconception about Eden that you would like to break?
People think I'm very egoistic because I have a resting face. Like if I'm sitting, like let's say I'm not smiling and I'm talking, my face is like this. So naturally they think she's not approachable, she's not sweet, she might not want to talk. But me, when I start talking, everyone I've ever spoken to in my life has told me this. After speaking to you, we're like, oh my god, she's a different person. If you're just quiet and you're not talking, it looks like you have a lot of ego and attitude. I am the nicest person. Someone talks to me, this is the only misconception. I was working with somebody 2 days ago. I was working for a brand. So I went for a brand shoot to Delhi, and this photographer is like, I worked with so and so A-lister, and I thought he's so nice, but he was so egoistic. But his approach, like on Instagram and how we see in his media, he's so nice, but he was so egoistic. And then I see Eden's Instagram and I'm like, ayyo, she's going to be so rude. She's going to be like hell to work with. And you came and you're a sweetheart. I'm like, exactly. Like, they say don't judge a book by its cover. I'm the nicest person. Like I'll talk to I'll sit anywhere and talk to anyone. Like I'm down to earth like that. But people have this misconception about me because they don't get to interact one-on-one with me.
Nice.
So,
I hope that breaks too soon. Yes.
Inshallah.
Thank you for speaking with me. All the best for your future
Thank you
endeavors.
for having me. It was so lovely.
Thank you so much.